Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to dive into a truly profound Eastern philosophical framework that basically reveals why true spiritual and personal growth requires a really specific balance of both your mind and your actions. We're unpacking the concept of dual cultivation, or cultivating both wisdom and merit simultaneously. It's a fascinating paradigm that promises to help us navigate the complexities of life with a lot more clarity and purpose. So let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. First up, the Arhat and the elephant. Second, defining wisdom and merit. Third, the danger of imbalance. Fourth, cultivating true wisdom. Fifth, cultivating great merit. And finally, achieving the perfect balance.
All right, Section 1, the Arhat and the elephant.
So our source text kicks things off with this incredible ancient mystery, the story of a poor Arhat and a king's royal elephant. According to the text, the Arhat, who was this highly enlightened ascetic, spoke a riddle that actually caused the majestic elephant to stop eating for an entire week. He said, "You cannot compare to me, but I cannot compare to you." It really begs the question, why was this deeply enlightened man literally starving, while a wealthy royal beast was completely lacking in any sort of spiritual consciousness?
Well, it brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between these two beings. Think about it. The Arhat went all in on internal cultivation, right? He strictly kept the precepts, attained incredible wisdom, but he completely ignored building up external merit, and that left him impoverished. On the flip side, you have the elephant, who had apparently accumulated massive amounts of merit and blessings in his past lives, but stubbornly refused to cultivate its mind or follow any precepts. The result? Reborn as an animal. Sure, it was a wealthy, royal animal enjoying the finest comforts, but it was still an animal. The takeaway here is that neither of them achieved true completeness.
Moving right along to Section 2, defining wisdom and merit.
What I found really fascinating here is how cleanly the source text separates these two distinct forces. First, you have panya, or wisdom, which is entirely internal. It's that intuitive clarity of knowing your true original spirit. It's the ability to just naturally distinguish right from wrong without having to sit there and overanalyze everything. Conversely, you have barami, or merit, which is completely external. That is the physical accumulation of your good deeds, your virtuous actions, and the resulting blessings or positive outcomes in the real world. Basically, one is all about being, and the other is all about doing.
Which brings us to Section 3, the danger of imbalance.
The crucial point the text is making is that balance isn't just some nice-to-have idea here. It's absolutely vital. If you favor one force and neglect the other, the consequences are pretty severe. As the source warns us, if you focus only on merit, you're going to create a life of blind, ignorant comfort. You might get super wealthy, but without wisdom, you just kind of follow the crowd. You lack independent thought. You're feeding your physical life, but starving your spiritual consciousness. But if you swing the exact opposite way and focus strictly on wisdom without any merit, you end up like a wandering ascetic. You get overly attached to the concept of emptiness. You might have these incredibly deep insights, sure, but you lack the physical and material foundation to actually apply that wisdom and help the world around you.
Okay, Section 4, cultivating true wisdom.
So, diving into the text, it emphasizes that wisdom actually starts with an awakening. Receiving the Dharma, or the absolute truth, which is really elegantly symbolized by the lotus flower, is all about illuminating your true original spirit. It's an internal realization that brings this instant clarity, and the best part? It's completely independent of external validation or worldly knowledge.
And you'll notice in this progression, cultivating wisdom isn't just passive. It's not just sitting quietly in a room. First, yes, you receive the path. Second, you really strive to understand the wondrous nature of your original, unblemished spirit. But third, and this is the active part, you have to utilize strict discipline to keep the precepts and actively change your bad habits. True wisdom has to actually be demonstrated through your internal transformation. To keep that internal clarity sharp day in and day out, the source brings up Master Zheng's 3 daily reflections. It's basically a daily spiritual audit. You ask yourself, did I wrong anyone today? Did I break my word or fail to be trustworthy? Have I reviewed and really internalized what I've learned? By constantly checking your spiritual state with these 3 simple questions, you keep your mind from getting bogged down by everyday stresses.
On top of that, the text gives us these 4 don'ts. Think of them like a highly practical shield. Don't look at, listen to, speak, or act upon anything that violates the fundamental truth or natural order. By strictly filtering out all that negative, untruthful external noise, you're protecting your newly cultivated internal wisdom from being eroded by the chaos of the world.
All right, let's flip the script. Section 5. Cultivating great merit.
So how do we actually build up this external merit so we don't end up like our starving Arhat? Well, the text breaks it down into a really nice structure called the 3 donations. And what this reveals is that true merit isn't just about handing out money. Sure, giving material wealth is part of it, but it equally involves sharing your wisdom and truth with people who are lost, and, maybe most beautifully, sharing fearlessness, providing comfort, your time, and courage to those who are in distress. Merit is really a holistic offering of your resources, your intellect, and your empathy.
But here is the ultimate secret sauce of merit. It's not just what you give, it's how you give it. You have to act with profound detachment. The text calls this entering the trifold void. Basically, it means that when you do a good deed, you instantly forget that you are the giver, you forget who the receiver is, and you completely forget the gift itself. You are giving purely for the sake of giving. You literally strip the ego away entirely, so you're never doing it just for praise or some kind of future reward.
Finally, Section 6. Achieving the perfect balance.
Let's bring this whole thing together. What actually happens when we synthesize the two? When you practice both simultaneously, when your crystal clear mind actually guides your generous actions, the source promises a pretty incredible transformation. We're talking about complete relief from suffering, not just for you, but for the people around you. Your original spirit reaches total perfection and completeness. And maybe the best part, the text notes that this balance leads to a truly thriving, holistic life. The simultaneous achievement of material wealth, a razor-sharp intellect, and robust physical health. You get the whole package.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on today. Take a hard look at your own daily habits. Are you spending all your time reading and meditating, but failing to actually get out there and help anyone? Or are you constantly working and giving to others, but completely neglecting to find your own internal peace? Try to identify which way you lean so you can start making those necessary adjustments toward perfect dual cultivation today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.